Okay, this is heavier than you think. Preschool books. I'll set these down and switch the pile to the other side as we go. So first we have very first questions and answers. Here I have what are germs and what is poop? But there's 14 different kinds. Like what's inside me, what is the moon, what's a potty for, and why do I brush my teeth? So say in the comments what issue you have with your toddler, and let's see if we have a very first questions and answers book on it, because there's why do I go to bed. This has germs and viruses and how you can avoid germs. The flaps are awesome. The kids love them and they'll learn a ton. My favorite one in what is poop is in the back where the wombat poops square. Did you know that? If you knew that, say in the comments so I can cheer you on, because that's awesome. Okay, then we have busy day. There's 5 of these. Um, firefighter, vet, astronaut, athlete, and chef. So this one you actually get to do the thing. So is it ready? You turn on the alarm. You get them dressed, right? Super fun to do the little flaps, to do the different, turn on the lights of the thing. There's also a set where you can get all 5 for only 30, which does really well. Then I have one of my favorite 5-minute bedtime stories, because these little stories are so great for the preschoolers. I'm going to show you the table of contents because you probably have not heard of any of these. They're kind of new little stories, so I'll show you one of them. I put on the little built-in thing. It's called Little Bear and the Clock, because Grandma's coming and the clock is just not moving fast enough for him. So Dad says, I have some magic, and they bounce around and do different things, which it turns into magic, because then they look back and the clock has moved and Grandma's there when he opens his eyes. But they all are only 5 minutes, and then it goes on to the next one, like Turtle and the Fish. So kind of fun little preschool things that you haven't heard of but can teach little lessons with your children. And then we have Muddle and Match. I know I've shown this before, but I just love it because it always forms a complete sentence, and it's great for phonemic awareness for the preschoolers. And it's only $8.99, and you can make all these silly things. Sometimes you never get through the sentence before they turn the page, but that's okay, right? There's 7 different kinds of these. Then we have 199 things on the farm. There's also zoo and dinosaurs. What I love about this is it's still boarded, but there's plenty of words to learn on the farm. With the food and everything in here, we underestimate how much our kids can learn. So 199 dinosaurs is awesome. They'll learn a ton. And then listen and read. There's 4: Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood, and 3 Little Pigs. You turn it on in the back, and it's a little poem where you can touch the silver thing, and it changes to the page you're on when you touch it again.
He takes the shoe. How will the story end?
I just love the English accent.
It's the shoe.
Hooray, it's you.
At last I found my friend.
I love that they're poems. They all rhyme, rhythmic, and repetitive. The 3 R's you want to watch for preschoolers, right? Rhyme, rhythmic, and repetitive. In the jungle, watch the chameleon. Troop change. There's 4 things that change in each book. There's 6 of these. Here's your in the jungle. There's in the ocean, in the snow, and at night. And there's Happy Halloween and Merry Christmas. Those are super fun for kids. Then a little hidden treasure that I don't know if you found, the Usborne Book of Princess Stories. This has 4 stories in it. It's illustrated by Stephen Cartwright, so you can find the little duck on each page. But what it actually is a lower level of reading on the top and a harder level on the bottom. So if your child says, I don't want to read, this is a great one to pull out. Let them read the top, you read the bottom. They read the top, you read the bottom. And if they're not catching the comprehension because they had to focus on the word bridge or across, then you read in the bottom and catch them up on the storyline. So they love every story, and they have some cute little lessons in there too, and a little bit of British humor. So how to brush your teeth, Snappy Croc. There's how to bathe your dinosaur, little dinosaur, and how to tuck in your sleepy lion, and how to feed your cheeky monkey, because if they can teach someone, then they learn, right? That's how we all learn. And there's 4 of our jigsaw jumbles. These are very durable. I'm going to pop it out so you can see. Very durable, and they fit in so nice and perfectly that they don't fall out. There's 4 pages on each one, and there is wild, ocean, forest, and farm. So those would be great too. Then we have helpfulness for hippos. There's also table manners for tigers and politeness for penguins. I'll just read you the first page and you'll see how fun this is. If you go to the river Limpopo, where frogs ribbit from bank to bank, you're sure to find he's one of a kind, a hero of a hippo named Hank. So you can tell that's going to be fun as they learn to be helpful in this book. And then we have Finger Trail ABC. There's also capital ABC, 1, 2, 3, and mazes. And these have finger trails. Oh, we'll go into the book on the C. So as you read cool cat in the car, you trace the C. Dashing dog, dainty daisies, you trace that. There's other trails to trace, like the green grasshopper, and in the end you can trace all the alphabet. But what I love about this is, if as you're reading to your preschooler and you say walrus is waving, welcome, they're going to learn where to start on the letters, so that will be easier for them when they start writing them themselves. And then we have best behavior, which takes you through a preschooler's day from getting up to going to bed with the different things they need to do. So here's an example. Getting dressed can sometimes be tricky. All those buttons can be such a pain. Don't get in a tangle with laces, and remember to comb your wild mane. So pick up your coat, sharing, all those kind of great things. Then we have the big book of. There's 5 of these 2 and 3 others. There's big book of ABCs, big book of numbers, and count to 100. So what these have, why I love them for preschoolers, especially if you have a preschool you do a book fair at, they love these because the pages are still boarded, so they can put them down with the kids even though they're big. There's a QR code that will play the music so that you can sing along with the songs, and just gorgeous pages and huge. So big book of nursery rhymes, big book of ABC, big book of numbers, and count to 100. And then big book of colors has a color wheel in the front, which is always fun that you can move and talk about that. And then it goes through each color, giving you lots of different words for that color. And then at the end, it has cellophane so that the blueberry can turn green, or the pink can turn orange. So that's really fun to play with as well. Okay, and lastly, 1,000 animals. Again, we underestimate what kids can learn. You might point out that that's a tiger, and they might say, no, Mom, that's a Siberian tiger, or a snow leopard, or a pampas cat. As you learn all these crazy different snakes, different fish. There's the snakes. Okay, thanks, guys. Preschool books. Awesome.